duck is an odd way to begin this episode, but it is where we shall begin. The dish we shall be preparing today is going to be a pan-seared duck breast with a red wine and cranberry jus, a pomme puree, braised red cabbage and tender stem broccoli. Sounds delicious and quite easy to prepare, but because we have a really bad lack of equipment up here in our studio, which is actually just the bottom end of the workshop, it could be quite a challenge. But you know, that is the fun of cooking, isn't it? So let's crack on, see what we can do. But before we do any cooking, we're gonna quickly top up the wine because that's always important, really, isn't it? And I do believe that you have to prepare yourself before you get prepared to cook. So normally, you know, I'd cook with a glass of wine, maybe oh my God, or a bottle of wine, and put on a podcast. I can think of a few podcasts at the moment that come to mind. Diary of a CEO, really enjoy that one. And then there is Perusai's On a Knife Edge podcast, which is incredible. So if you want to check that out, please feel free. So our glass is now topped up, and quickly before we start cooking, there's something I found today, which when I found it, nearly brought a tear to my eye. So as some of you may know, I was a chef before starting Perusai for about 15 years. And during those 15 years, I had, as every chef does, a little notebook that I jotted down everything I learned, like culinary terms, recipes, techniques, everything. And many years ago, I lost it, couldn't find it. And every morning I'd wake up and think, you know, one day I really hope that turns up, because there's the content of it. It obviously took years and years to get what I've got. And that was shared from other chefs I've worked with in the past and has a deep, deep meaning. Then, whilst I was getting everything ready to film this episode, I saw a corner of a book underneath one of these counters. And as I pulled it out, it was covered in dust, you know, not in a great way. And as I pulled it out, it turned out it was the book I had lost many years ago. And in that book, like I said, there's some incredible things, some really, really cool recipes, techniques and culinary terms, which is really handy to know. And there's even a to-do list from a Christmas Day shift we did, which for us, I'm sure most kitchens, a little tradition in the morning when you get in is to neck a quick shot of whiskey, get yourself all merry, and then crack on with the day ahead. So what I was thinking, now I found this, because this is all the stuff I learned from 10, 15 years, you know, behind the stoves in the kitchen. I really want to share it with you. You know, cooking's all about learning. So I thought through this year, through next year, because there's quite a lot, we'll do some videos that will be from pages within this book. I'll share everything I learned with all of you who watch our videos. Anyway, before I get too carried away and a little bit emotional with this, because it does bring back a lot of memories, put this down, and in this episode we shall continue with that beautiful duck dish. So obviously we make knives, so there's going to be a little bit of product placement, and that's the only ad in this episode. So I'm just going to get my knives out, and then we shall fire up the stove and get cracking on this beautiful duck breast. The pomme puree, which is basically, you have mashed potato, and a pomme puree is almost like a looser, smoother mashed potato. That's the most basic way of describing it. And with that pomme puree, you can add so many different things to it. So today we're going to add a touch of Dijon mustard, just because I really love the punch with it. But you can add beetroot to it, you can add smoked garlic, that's really nice. You can get smoked butter from the Aussie smoker in there. Oh, that'd be stunning. I haven't done that yet. I was hoping to get some today, but I did not have time. So hopefully in one of the other videos we'll get some and we'll cook something up with it. So cooking is all about timing, which is why we are putting on the pomme puree first, because that is going to take longer to cook than the duck. So we're going to get this pomme puree on, and then we shall put the red cabbage on, because we want to braise that down to get it nice and soft and get the flavours really intensified in it. So as I said before, everything is about timing. So what we're going to do now is, now we've got the pomme puree on, that's going to take obviously quite a while to cook. We're going to get the jus on. Right, admittedly, yes, I was saying I was a chef, but under certain circumstances, I've had to make things a little bit easier for myself here, because as you can see, this is not the best setup, really, is it? So I went somewhere and picked up a pre-made, still quite nice, concentrated jus. So all I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show you the brand because it doesn't matter, is I'm just going to add a bit into a pan. As you can see, it's like treacle, it's very sticky. So now that's in the pan, I'm just going to move that little masher out the way. Now we've got the concentrated jus in the pan, it's like a real strong reduction. And as you can possibly see, it's, you know, it's not saucy enough. So what we're going to add to that, I'm trying to keep things nice and simple. So we're going to add some red wine to that, some cranberry, and a little bit of Dijon mustard. That way you're getting like a balance with the acidity, the sweetness, everything's kind of, you know, balanced. If I was in a proper kitchen, I would be doing this slightly different, but needs must and all that. So I'm just going to add a dash of wine, but not too much because I still want to drink the majority of it. So that's just going to loosen it up a little bit and add the sweetness into the sauce. And then we're going to add a knifeful of cranberry sauce. The reason I say knifeful is because I don't have any spoons up here. Once again, very limited on things. So it's going to add some cranberry sauce into there. Maybe a little bit more, because having the sweetness with duck works really, really well. And then for a little bit of kick, a bit of oomph, you know, a bit of a punch, we're going to add just a little touch of Dijon mustard. I'm not going to give a specific, like, amount. Just keep tasting it until it's right. And when you taste it, you suddenly, yeah, your expression suddenly, oh my God, that's insane. Then that's enough. So what we're going to do now is continue to cook the potato so we can make like they did in the 90s and mash it up. Then we're going to let the jus reduce down a bit as well, because we still want to have it like velvety and smooth and delicious. Once that's then done, we'll get the pan on for the duck and start cooking that. As you can see, there is no way we can cook the duck now because, I mean, where's that going to go? So we shall wait a little bit. I'll have a little bit more wine and we'll proceed. So if you're enjoying yourself as much as I am, which I highly doubt it, please feel free to click the subscribe button in the bottom. It really, really helps us out more than you could ever imagine. And I really honestly do appreciate it. But if you don't want to do that, well, I can't really do much about it. So just, I guess, just enjoy this video and yeah, so cool. And so we have another problem. I have a beautiful piece of tender stem broccoli, but I have no water to cook it in because we don't have any running water in our workshop. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pop this in with the potatoes just quickly, just to cook it al dente, so it's still got a little bit of crunch. Then after that, we'll then fry it with the duck breast. So it's going to work out well, it's all good. And that's the thing with cooking. Sometimes you just have to adapt, go with the flow, and get yourself out of the It's been so difficult trying to get everything cooked just on that single hob. I mean, if there was a kitchen sponsor out there who could sponsor these videos, that would be incredible, wouldn't it? Really? We've managed to cook off the potatoes and the tender stem broccoli. So I'm just going to run outside and quickly straighten this, and then we'll get back and cook the duck and puree those pommes. So I've only gone and bloody done it. The potatoes and the broccoli are strained off. We've got the broccoli nice and al dente, so it's still got a bit of room, bit of time to cook when we fry it with the duck breast. So I'm very happy about that. For the pomme puree, what we're going to do, we're going to add some butter, some Dijon mustard, some salt and pepper that I don't have, so we're going to just pretend it's going in there. Once that's done, we'll then get the duck on and then bring everything together at the pass, or in our case, just there. So in goes the butter, just like so. And another nice tip of Dijon mustard in there. As mentioned, some salt and pepper. Yep, that's perfect. And so all that is left to do is just mash up that pomme puree. So get to that. I mean, there is a machine that can do this a lot quicker and give you an incredibly smooth and velvety texture, which we're hoping to be, sorting something out with them soon. The pomme puree is now all done, and let's have a little taste. Yes, definitely yes. So we'll pop that to one side for now, and we'll get the pan nice and hot for the duck. So we've now got our beautiful duck breast, which I've just slapped to tenderize. What I would do, if I had it to hand, is season it. I don't have seasoning, so just pretend that that's going on there right now. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, love that. So our pan's nice and hot. Just going to pop it in skin side first. There we go. Beautiful. And what I'm going to try and do is we want the skin to be nice and brown, and we don't want to cook it too quickly because we want the fat that's underneath the skin to cook through as well. If it's not cooked for long enough, it could become quite chewy. So we're going to get the nice sear on it, turn down the temperature, cook through the fat, and then we'll flip it over and hopefully have it nice and pink in the middle. So something you've got to do when you're cooking is this. So what we're going to do now is take off this duck and just put it on there just to let it rest. Next thing we're going to prepare is the red cabbage. So I'm just going to quickly slice that in half. You don't really need much because it's only for me. Going to saute this off like so. With the red cabbage, just to bring some new levels of flavour, we're going to deglaze it with some really nice red wine I've been drinking for the majority of this evening, and just a little sprinkle of cinnamon, and it should all combine together beautifully to create something super, super tasty. So in with the red wine. Sprinkling with cinnamon. Oh, that smells incredible. And I would say, if I had some, a touch of like brown sugar in there, that would really, really help it. Again, add a bit of sweetness. Oh, that looks incredible. What I'm also going to add into there is just a touch of jus that's been reducing down over the past few hours it's taken to film this video. So only a touch. And that would just add a touch of richness to the red cabbage. Oh my god. You know what, I'm not going to lie, that was slightly on a whim. I suppose you could use the term bodged up. And that has come out incredibly well. It tastes almost slightly charred, sweet, you've got the cinnamon hitting it, the richness from the jus just coating the cabbage. That is, very happy with that, very happy with that. Now the red cabbage is done. I'm just going to push this to the cooler side of the pan. And then we're going to get our tender stem broccoli on, just like so. Just going to char that up a touch, and then grab our duck breast and just put it in the pan on the cooler side, just so it's warm, basically. The only reason I'm doing this is, as you can see, and I've mentioned many a time, this is the only hob we have in, I'm not even going to call this a kitchen, to be fair, but we're doing it, we're making it work. Now it's time for my favourite part of cooking, besides drinking wine. Just plating up. Whilst trying to get this next shot, I've been running around the workshop trying to sort everything out. So, the duck might be slightly overcooked, but you'll get the concept and the idea of this dish. So we're going to have a look now. So we'll start off with the pom puree. And one thing I'm really excited about is, I believe this is the first time I've plated something up made in the workshop on one of our beautiful plates. So it's going to be very rustically plated up because once again I'm missing many utensils. So on goes. I'm not going to lie, that's not really a pom puree, it's just a mashed potato with Dijon mustard. There's so many things today I would have changed. Just slightly charred up some of this purple sprouting. Again, lacking many kitchen utensils. Just going to use my fingers. That red cabbage looks incredible. Like, don't know if you can see close up, but the glaze on it. Oh, it smells so rich. That is beautiful. The moment I've all been waiting for. Now time to slice the duck breast up. I really hope this has come out how we wanted it. Oh, that is not bad. Oh, look at that. Gonna layer that over. I mean, like I said, the presentation, I kind of gave up as I was putting it on the plate. If I had more time, you can get very creative. Finish it off. I've got a very nice syrupy jus. Oh, look at that. So there you have it. Pan-seared duck breast with a beautiful Dijon mustard, pom puree, and some tender stem broccoli. I'm honestly really happy with that. I think the only thing I would change, but it's just the presentation. I'd probably do it a little bit more like classy, a little bit more elegant. But I'm really happy with that. And that's the thing with cooking is, once you've made something, have a think about what you would change and then work on it next time you cook up that dish. As I said at the start, cooking is about learning, trying new things. If you've got a recipe, you can still use that as a base. Just go off on a slight tangent, experiment, have fun. So I'm now gonna sit down and enjoy this. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you find this channel of value and you can learn a few things from it. I'd really appreciate that.